Good morning. This is the Elliott Wave weekly update for gold, silver, and platinum, being recorded on Saturday, August the 16th at 11:05 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm going to start here again on gold, and I'm on my maximum monthly chart, and there aren't any changes on this level. So again, just to quickly review, I have cycle one, cycle two, so we're inside of a cycle wave three, which is subdividing several times. There's one subdivision, there's the second subdivision, there's the third, there's the fourth, and actually we're finishing up that internal third for minute wave three of minor wave three, of intermediate wave three, of primary wave three, of cycle wave three. So we're still inside these threes of three type moves. But it seems to have slowed down dramatically and it's gaining power. So in other words, we've just seen strength in this market as we've moved higher. And the market's gone from this low from 1850 all the way up to 3550 almost. So again, it's quite a bit. And I'm actually just going to come down to this level, and which is my 3-year weekly chart. And therefore I have minute one and two. So I mean there is minor two, and then we have minute one and two, and then I have sub or minuet waves one and two, three and four. So I was feeling that we are, and we may still be in minuet wave five up. Now the projections are 3665, which is where wave five would be equal to wave one. And so that's connecting it all the way up to what I've marked as the fourth wave, to the end of the E wave. And so it still is in place, but I'm going to bring it all the way down. Let's take it to the daily chart. What we can see is that I had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I put a 1 there. And then we've started to consolidate again. Now we zipped up to a new high, a new all-time high. This would have been on the 8th, and that would have been at 3,534. And then we just dropped into consolidating. Now, if I'm even labeling this one, I'm looking for a wave two, but it's already gone. That's the 382. There's the 50%. There's the 618, and we've now slipped below 618, as you can see. We have. Let me just bring this down, put it on an hourly chart, and I can look at it this way. So we had 618 was at 3387, 3388, and we've drifted below that. Now a wave two can go all the way almost back to the starting point of wave one, which is going to bring it back to 3,300. Now I'm not really looking for that deep, but it could go 786 because it doesn't appear that it might be done just yet. So we still have some support down at 3,375, and then we have additional support. So if we start to drop, we're going to be dropping through a gap. It wasn't necessarily a physical gap that we see it from start to finish, but the market moved up very strongly. So in this rally, we don't have any price points until we get down towards 3365. And then we have 3365, we have 3335 down to 3330, and then we have 3320 down here. And that's about as low as I would like to see this get and still be a wave two. Now, let me discuss the alternate to this. Because I can count up 5, even though it is within the fifth wave. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter on the degree, but it's within the fifth wave that we get powerhouse moves. So, but again, that ended with a surge up. And the fact that there may have been some overriding factors to keep things down, I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can put minuet wave 5 in there, and that's going to then put in, let me go back out to here, it's going to put in minute wave 3. So in other words, this minute third wave may have completed at the August 8th high. And if that's the case, then we're starting to come down. I'm going to go back down to that daily. We're starting to come down in the first five down for a minute fourth wave correction, which will be an ABC. Now, that's why I've included these. Again, let me move out to that weekly chart. So here we have the extent. If the three goes there, our levels for coming off are 382 is 2878. 50% is 2676. Now, that's just the fibs. I am by no means suggesting that this is what's going to happen. I have to include the fibs if indeed we're going to be in a period of consolidation. Now, if I'm just listening to Elliott, if I'm in a minute fourth wave down, where's it going to find its initial support? Within the fourth wave of one lesser degree. Well, that's here. And so I would say to that low, yeah, we have a possibility of again coming back down to 3,100. Now I'm kind of leaving it there. And then I have 3,021, which is where the weekly 50 is. And then I've got this break. But I have price points along the way. This one makes more sense to me because here's that previous fourth wave. It was a triangle. So the end point for that fourth wave is up at 3,300, basically. And again, that would be where wave two would come all the way back down to the starting point of wave one. As long as it doesn't break it, it can do it. And then also, but I can also put the 5 there and put the 3 above it and put a 4 here, if indeed we were to break from there and go straight back up. Or it will be 1, 2, and we're going up in a third. So either way, I'm thinking we got to sit through this and we got to look at it and realize if it breaks 3,300, it opens the door for traveling back to about 3,100 or possibly as low as 2878 for a fourth wave. So that's still out there. Too soon to tell, too soon to call. So I'm leaving it as one and looking for, again, bringing it down to the daily, leaving that as one and putting in our fibs. Now we've already gone past that 618, closed back just below it, that level, which was 3388. And so I think that, but we still could have some additional downside. So our next level is 3349, 3350. And then we have 3363, which is the daily 50. So moving averages, everything, and then we should find some pretty strong support right there, just above 3,300. And the low is actually 3,300. It can come and equal it, just can't break it. It can come and equal it though, and I'm hoping that it doesn't. I'd like to keep this real clean. If it's going to be a 2, keep it clean. Don't come all the way down and challenge that because it tosses too much into where if it breaks it, we could have another 200-point drop. So that's the other thing to remember. Longer term, it's just a fourth wave. Again, taking it back out to that 3-year. It's just a wave 3 would be here. It's just a fourth wave. And we still have a fifth wave, which again, minimally 3,655 would be a target once that were to start. And we have additional, but that's for this fifth wave. So, but here we have for minute 3, if indeed it's 1 and we come down a whole 2 and we start to rally again, we got plenty. We have 3665 and we actually have additional at 4,000 in that 4,000 area. We have wave 5 coming in at 3665 to 3875. So, and that could be just wave 5 and then completing that minute third. So again, that's we've got some good upside potential here still, but it may consolidate first. And then we could switch the count around a little bit because the depth of the consolidation may come into play. All right, now what we could see is if the dollar continues to deteriorate, what didn't gold did not really take into to around because when they're in the selling everything, which is kind of outside the Dow, which is kind of what happened last week and beginning on Thursday. So everything kind of fell into that. All the asset things went down basically, except for a few stocks, and the dollar dropped. Now, my continuation, the dollar, I believe that can continuation. The dollar can deteriorate. The dollar can drop further. In fact, get closer to 95 versus 98. And right now, it's fluctuated between like just below 98 up to 99. And so, can it go back above 100? I wouldn't be expecting it right now before this segment of the pullback is complete. And so it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. And again, what could affect that is like getting a rate cut in September. That's going to change how much interest you can get on your dollars. If they're going to be paying less interest, nobody's going to want to hold the dollar, so they're going to be getting out of it. Possibly. Same thing, with gold. It's like, well, less interest doesn't suggest anything other than I think if the dollar's dropping, the price of gold may go up. So that's where I'm going to leave gold for right now. We're kind of in flux type of a move. And so we got to let the market tell us, but I'm giving you both sides. Okay, let's go take a look at silver. Silver is also kind of the same deal. Same deal. I'm looking for this completion point for minute wave 3. And now we've come back to the 100% level, which is around 38. So we closed at 38.02 on Friday. And I am really looking for the market to kind of take off again. So I have 3 and I have 4. And again, 1, 2, possibly. It's holding up better than gold, I will say. When they come in and they start smacking gold, it drops quicker. And not that silver doesn't, but silver's been holding basically above 36 nicely now for 2 weeks, actually 3. And so if it can continue that, then I think it builds on the rally because this could be 4 and then we have a 1, 2. And if we get that 3, then we're looking at 39.95 up to 42. So again, the momentum for an upside move in the precious metals can turn and provide that momentum very easily. It could just be a flip in something that the market is wanting to pay attention to. And it might be the dollar. It might be the dollar. It might be a continued sell in the equity markets. That's a possibility versus a stronger rally in the equity markets. A stronger rally might come from the fact that the dollar gets itself pumped back up, but not really looking for that. I'm really not. So I think that the weaker dollar will provide a bias towards an upside move here in the metals. So in silver, I think let me just kind of bring it down. Let's bring it down to the daily here. Like here we have 1, 2, and then should take. This is another 1, 2, very possible. And if it is, and I'm in a third, it just has to go. We spike higher, and then we'll see what happens on that. Otherwise, we run the risk of dropping below 37.50 down to 37.15, and then we have additional down below here at 36.25. And so we have some others in here. So that would be that we have the 3, the 4, and that's a 1 A, B, see, because we didn't take out that high, and we come down in the C wave. And if that's the case, this is 38.80 to 37.45, so it's about $1.30, and that would be 37.50. So right there, that's where we could get to here, and it's actually A, B, C, pretty much a little bit below that level. And then it's 1, A, B, C, 2, and then we go. And that would be good because our next level higher is 39.95. And then we're breaking to new highs. And then I think it opens the door for a clean shot at about 40. And I think we can move very quickly, just thrust up through 40. So it might be something that just kind of spooks the market and they just go for it and they take it up to here because it's actually what is still expected. I do read and listen to others that are providing analysis on silver, and we're all basically intent that it's like, no, it's not over yet. Even on an Elliott basis, I'm looking for the completion of minute wave three, and my next level for minute wave three is 42. Could it stop in between? Of course, it can, but we've surpassed 100%. We're hovering around it, but we did surpass it. And now we're just basically sitting right at it. So as long as that remains the case, then I think we have a very strong probability for at least 39.95 to 40 and to get it going. And then by the time this small fifth wave is done, I think we can be up at 42. Then we have a little bit larger pullback because three would be done. Then we're looking for four, and that's going to bring it back to this level. So that's that. Let's go over and take a look at platinum. And I need to pull this out just a little bit to that. I'm going to go to the 5-year just to show you that we still have the A and the B. And so we're still in a primary B wave. I can go all the way out to my maximum. So this is primary wave A. We're in ABC. We're in the C portion of it going up to produce the primary B wave top. I still have a very strong cluster here in platinum at 1667, 65 to 1700, as high as 1720. And that would fit all levels because for the C wave up, and for this B wave, 0.618 in that B wave comes in at 1643. We have resistance at 1666 for the intermediate C wave. And then for the minor fifth wave, we have resistance at 1720. So being that the two below are dependent on this one, they all could follow the minor degree because the minor degree is the smallest degree moving up that I have showing here. That's on that monthly. Let's start bringing it down to the 3-week, and we're taking a look. So could we be done with the 4? According to this weekly, yeah, we could. And this is just playing. Now, if I bring it down one more, it's kind of showing the potential that we might still have a downside leg to go, where this is wave A of 4 here, this low, wave A of 4, and this is an ABC wave B of 4, and we come back down in a C wave, which could get us back to 1232, maybe even a little bit lower. We're not threatening anything to the downside, it's just a little bit bigger. But I can also I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but I would put fibs like this. If that high sits in place, then you see we're really looking for a much larger, but 618 brings us down to that 1232. And wave C definitely could be 0.618 of that A wave. So that's why I'm looking for this next level. If we're going to have some downside, I think we should find some stronger support right at that 50% level down here with the minor. So it's 618 in this internal side, and also for the minor wave 4, we have that at 1225 to 1235, right into that little window. And that's where I think we can come in. And otherwise, it's really like everything else. It needs to spark. It needs to spark and fly. If this is going to hold as, which actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm thinking that it could have been A, B, C, right? Because this could have been A, that could be B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. That still stands. But this is not really sparking. It did initially, and then it came back down, and now it's going back up and created a new high. So I'm thinking it's ABC, and we got another leg down, and that could portend to coming all the way into there. And platinum does not necessarily need silver or gold to follow suit. It does at times move independently. And so it's supply and demand into something that's going on actually in the platinum market. So I'm leaving open the potential that we can come back down to 1232 and finish this fourth wave. Actually, a little bit below. No, yeah, 1232. and then to begin that fifth wave up. So the fourth wave would move over if it starts to break. A clean signal would be if it breaks very quickly below 1297 or 1300. We're going to increase the potential that the market is going to go. Actually, we have that low at 1306. Let me just get it, 1308. Once we start breaking that, then I think this is going to be easy, and we're probably coming down in a quick C wave. All right, that actually is it. So there's not a whole lot to be adding to any of them. They're all kind of still consolidating this past week. But we've got one more bar, so now we can maybe project out a little bit further in all three. So there's if-then statements. If this happens, then that. If that happens, then this. And unfortunately, that's kind of the way the market is because it's still consolidating. All right, that's it. Next update will be next week.